Okay, so I'm going to make this short and sweet for you. So 3 keys for peace and happiness. The first one, I would say, if I was just to summarize it with a single word, would be unity. 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 Right? So what do I mean by unity? What I mean by unity is this realization, this recognition that we're all connected. We're unified. There's nothing that actually separates us. If we're to say that we're separate, it would be like a wave declaring to the ocean that I'm separate from you. Right? We all know that the wave is the ocean, and it may take a particular form for a particular amount of time, and then that energy just dissipates, and the wave, as it always was, returns to the ocean. I mean, it was never separate from the ocean. I like to think of it this way. You realize that this planet was a collection of space particles, right? So I'm not even going to go further back than that. Of course, there was the Big Bang, but even that's a mystery, like what was before the Big Bang and what, Anyway, let's not go there. But nonetheless, we can at least speculate, or even science has told us that the planet was once a collection of space particles that formed and turned into a big ball of fire. And I think as somehow the planet started to cool and steam started to create liquid. So from fire comes water, and the planet it gained a crust, and then the planet developed oceans, and the oceans then froze, and we had a big snowball of a planet, even though the core is of course made of fire. And then again it turned into fire, and then another ice age, and then off it went, and here we are. Right? So from this one big ball of fire, let's just call it Earth. I mean, we probably should have called it water. There's more water than there is Earth, but nonetheless, we called it Earth. From this single big ball of Earth came everything. Our chairs, our houses, our friends, our family, our belongings, everything. Everything is Earth. And yet some people think gold is more valuable than wood. Certainly I'm a jeweler's son, so you'd imagine I would too. And of course, when I'm caught up in separation, right, as opposed to unity, then of course I do treat gold as more valuable than wood. And it's difficult, I know, to actually, transcend this notion of value. We put value on things, but really, realistically, everything is Earth. It's like one of the teachings I heard recently, which I love, which is if you lose your keys, or you lose your phone, or you lose some money, or whatever, even if you lose a family member, you lose a friend, you don't say you've lost it. Never again say I lost anything. You can just say it returned. My wallet returned. My keys returned. It returned to its source. It's returned to Earth. Everything does return to Earth. Everything is Earth, right? It's never separate. Even like the final stage, it's said to be is ash. Ash is one of the reasons why in India and in Bali and places like that, and of course we do it in Australia, but not for the same reason, but they burn the bodies to symbolize the final stage of life. That the body then, typically doesn't, well, this is the point though, it actually does. So ash, you can't sort of make anything from ash, but ash, which is made of predominantly carbon, then actually converts and turns into something else. And the cycle of life continues. It's ridiculous, I know, it's amazing. And so the first key for peace and happiness is to see everything with equal eyes, to see all as one. And inevitably, you'll find it's hard not to be peaceful. It's like, you might argue, well then why have goals? Why pursue any interests? Why pursue any desires? Why pursue any, I don't want to use the word desires. Why pursue any dreams? Let's not call it desires, let's call it dreams. Because this is quite paradoxical, but the whole point of having goals or dreams isn't to achieve your goals and dreams. Which I know sounds odd, right? Very odd. But realistically, it's not about achieving your goals and dreams, because if you achieve your goals and dreams, what is it? You've just acquired more Earth. Well done. More Earth. Everything is Earth. Let's just call it Earth, but really it's the 5 elements. It's the ether, air, fire, water, earth, right? But whatever we have, it's made of the very same 5 elements. It is the same stuff, just configured in a different way, and it will always return. And so it's not about achieving our goals and dreams. It's about having goals and dreams, because having goals and dreams is what lends towards purpose. It gives us meaning, and having meaning and purpose in life is what lends towards peace and happiness, right? So it's essential that we seek, I refrain from using that word too. It's essential that we have goals, right? But we're not hankering after them. We don't have to have them, right? We're not losing sleep over them. They're just what will get us out of bed in the morning with a little skip in our step, and off we go, right? So that was kind of a bit of a legway out of unity, but no, I'm sure there's some relevance there, which was just essentially is that what we're pursuing, our goals and dreams, are made of the same stuff. So don't be too attached to whether you have or don't have. Don't be too attached to whether you've got money or don't have money, whether you live in a nice house or you don't live in a nice house, whether you've got a nice car or you don't have a nice car, whether you have a car at all. I know personally I've been the happiest, right, when I had the least, without a doubt. I was living in India. I was living in an apartment which was very dark. I had a single room, and it was a very dark apartment, and there was like Dobie women in the morning, like at 4 o'clock or whatever it was, early in the morning, cleaning the laundry, and it wasn't the most fantastic environment, but I was so happy there because I was immersed in this kind of spiritual living, contemplation. I was immersed in presence. I was immersed in bhakti, which is like love. And I had a couple of books, and I had a little bit of music, and I had some pictures, and that was it. I had some books, some music, some pictures, and I enjoyed that. And I'd have a sleep every afternoon after lunch. That was my siesta because it was hot. And my day just was quite simple. And of course, there was no stresses, there were no challenges, essentially. There were a few, but not many. And so I know we can be happy with nothing, right? I've seen it. The happiest people in the world I met in Laos, they literally off the beaten track. I went off the tourist train and actually took a boat down the river and found this place that no tourists ever went to, and they had no roads, had no electricity. I don't think they even used money. I've also worked in East Timor and seen the same thing, living up in the hills in Okusi Enclave, and essentially these people can be completely happy with very little because they're not full of, and this will lead me to the next two keys, they're not full of ego and desire, right? So the next two keys, let's get onto that, right? And then I'll leave you. The next two keys for peace and happiness is to actually recognize, like if you want peace or if you want happiness, just understand the words, I want peace or I want happiness. Remove the I, which is ego, remove the want, which is desire, and you'll be left with peace. You'll be left with happiness. And so, right, easier said than done, no doubt. But again, ego is this delusional notion of self, like the wave that says it's separate from the ocean. I'm separate from everyone. Me. I did that. I succeeded. Oh, I lost. I'm fantastic. Oh, I'm terrible. I'm not good enough. I am good enough. All this ego stuff. It's delusional notions of self. Just drop it. Drop it. Everyone says, I know. It's like, flip that and go, no, I. Easy. Flip it. Flip the I know. Oh, yeah, I know. You meet those people, right? I know, yeah, I know that. Drop the I. Flip it on the head. No I. It was actually, to my great fortune, I'm sure, when living in India, I lived there for almost 3 years, and anytime I would start philosophizing and notionifying, conceptualizing, I had particularly a couple of yogis, genuine yogis. They would sincerely just ask me, who's the I? And they would stop any conversation. I call it a conversational killer. You can certainly kill any conversations with that question. Who's the I? We say, me. Who's the me? And people give the name given to their body at birth. Well, hold on. Is that who you really are? We say this is my shirt, the shirt's separate from me. It says, my watch, the watch separate from me. This is my body, the body is separate from me. Right? But we say I all the time. And so drop the I. Just drop it. Of course, in conversation and in relative reality talk in the world, of course, we're using I. Don't be silly and think, how can I survive without using the I? Although I did meet a yogi once in India, and he was like, you should come to your ashram. I'm like, I don't have an ashram. He goes, no, you do. Come up to your ashram. Because he refused to say I. It was his ashram. But he refused to say I. Right? So yeah, but anyway, that would be too weird and too difficult and awkward. So better just to use the languaging, but not to be caught up in the me, I. That never-ending story of self. Just drop it and you'll find peace and happiness. Right? I want The second part of that is want. Want is desire. Of course, desire has a twin aversion, right? Wanting or not wanting, same thing, really. But wanting, this grasping, this wanting, this hankering after things, needing to have things. How are you ever going to be happy? Right? Often I liken it to a dog that's chasing its tail. It goes round and round and round. Occasionally it gets it, and then it hurts itself, and it runs around and round and round again. Same thing. We get what we want, and holy cow, it provides happiness for what? How long? A day, maybe? You know, those of you with children, right? Leave any comments below. Like, hey, you know, you buy kids a nice toy. They've wanted that big, beautiful play set. How long do they play with it for before they have no interest in it? Right? It's not the play set that makes them happy. It's in the moment when they're playing on the play set that they don't have any desire. There's no wanting or not wanting. In that moment, they're happy. And kids are naturally happy. You see it. So are we, but kids naturally more. They're more so. They just walk around. Again, probably younger, you know, 1 to 2 years of age. Like kids are just pretty happy. But then they want something, and they start losing their shit, you know. Right, we're big kids at the best of times, you know, wanting. Oh, don't want. And that's robbing us of peace and happiness, right? So again, have your goals, have your dreams, you know, aim for them. Like I've often talked about the being, doing, having formula. Focus on being first, then focus on doing. I often introduce the concept of high performance habits and positive rituals, and then you'll get what you get, and don't get upset, right? But you get what you get, but when you get it, I just spoke to that before, right? You get it, you achieve your goal, another bag of 5 elements, you just achieved more earth, wow, I got more earth, right? And it's not going to make you happy. It might give you a temporary fix, it might give you a sense of satisfaction for a short time, but it won't last, all right? So if you want true happiness, happiness is found in neither wanting or not wanting. Happiness is found in the absence of ego. Happiness is found in the absence of ignorance, right? And ignorance, the best definition I can give you for that is believing that which is real to be unreal and believing that which is unreal to be real. Take this or leave it. My teacher says 3 things to never do, right? Sri Sathya Sai Baba is my calling teacher, really great guru. 3 things never to do. 1, never believe in the world. 2, never forget God. Call that what you will. That's the non-decaying principle according to the yogis, Ishvara. The non-decaying principle. Never forget that non-decaying principle. That essence that is all things. That unifying essence. Right? And the 3rd thing, he says, never be afraid of death. Right? Do those and you'll, again, maintain this sense of equanimity. And in that, you'll find peace. You find happiness. So 3 keys to peace and happiness. 1, seek unity. Amidst the diversity, seek unity. Realize that we're all of the same essence. Our bodies are made of stardust. Okay? So Carl Jung says, though we may appear separate, like a series of islands that from the surface level appear separate, below we recognize it's just one landmass. And likewise, we appear to have individual separate consciousnesses, and everyone wants to put tattoos all over themselves and makeup and make themselves look a particular way so they can stand out as an individual. The truth is, we're all one. Take that or leave it. But whatever works for you, maybe leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. If you just haven't got anything to say, at least can you hashtag replay, just so organically this post might actually reach more. Hope this helps. I didn't summarize the rest. Yes, so unity, absence of ego, and letting go of your desire, right? I know that's hard. I know it's ridiculously hard. So have your goals, have your dreams, which yes, you could call desires, but it's not about achieving them. It's just about having them. Whether you get them or not, they're not going to make you happy. Temporarily maybe, but not longer lasting, permanent joy. Happiness, anand bliss. Anyway, love to hear what you think. Leave some thoughts. And see you next time. Ciao for now.